everybody! Welcome to Journal with us for the month of October. We hope you're doing well, and we have something fun for you to watch. Two videos, one from Ilse and one from me, both with the color theme of this month, and that's the color teal, and I really like that color. So we both made a project for you guys in our journals. I'm using my square one still, the one from our latest collection, the fall collection, and on my pages I also work with our latest collection, so it's all fall themed, which is really something that is going on right now, because as I'm filming this, it's actually a little bit colder outside. It's raining, really cozy, really good weather to get some journaling going. So I can give you a little sneak peek because I already made the page. So this is what I'm doing. This is what you're going to see in the video. And of course we have something fun to share as well. Keep your eyes out for cool stuff that is coming. We're heading to December, and that always means for us at least that it's Journal Your December time. So Ilse and myself are working on that, of course with fun products but also with fun prompts, so please keep an eye out. We're going to announce that on time so you can all participate together with us, because it's always such a fun time of the year, especially for us creative people. So for now, I'm just telling you to have fun with my video. I'm going to flip the camera and let you see how I made these pages, and I hope you have a great month of October. See you soon. Bye.
Hi everybody, let's start with these pages. The first thing that I'm doing is I'm taking a stencil and I'm using a new distress paste. It's a texture paste called Grave, and it's a stone tinted opaque medium, and it's really fun to use and I really like it. It's a bit of a grayish brownish color, and it works the same as other texture paste, so you can go over it with your watercolor and it will give a resist. Of course, I'm using a teal color to start with, and I'm just giving it a bit more depth later on with some darker blue colors, because only the one color was a little bit too light for me, and I like the different shades on my pages. So I'm just giving it a go with my heat tool. Normally I just wouldn't do that because the colors are more beautiful when you let them air dry. You see me going in with some of the dark blue, and I'm just taking it over to the burlap page a bit as well, just to tie those both pages together. And again, I'm going to heat set it a bit so I can go on top of a dry layer of paint and then build up those colors. Now I'm going in with some teal blue for splatters, and that works a lot better when the base of your paint is already dry, so you will see the splatters a little bit better. For more depth in my color, I also used a little bit of brown, because of course the burlap is brown already, so I really like bringing that color back to the right page. So some more splattering, and then I think that background with the watercolor and the stenciling is ready. Now I have my dye. It's a little bit of the background dye from our latest collection, and I'm coloring that with watercolor as well. I die cutted it out of watercolor paper. That makes it a little bit more sturdy because it was a thicker watercolor paper, and it really works well with the watercolors, of course. So I'm just keeping that over there, probably going to use that in the background as well. Now I'm going to color in my stems, of course these cool mushroom stems, and to keep with the theme for this month with the teal color, I'm going to make some teal colored mushrooms. And first starting with the lightest color, and first I'm going to use some of the pigments on the bottom of those mushrooms, and then just with a clean brush working to the top where the sunlight will hit, and there is where I keep them most light. Only the teal color I find a little bit dull, so I'm going in with some brown, just because you get those weathered colors, that weathered look, and I think that's really fun for mushrooms, and it really fits the colors of my background that I have already. Just playing around with the pigments a little bit more, just to get some depth and shadowing. And as you can see, I can keep on playing with that quite a lot, and you will see me going in with more brown to color in the parts that I didn't color yet. Just a little bit more of the teal, because I'm wondering if they are dark enough. I really had to put in some work to get a little bit more definition in there. So you can see it's a process. It's not one blob of paint and you're ready. I'm just letting them dry a bit, then going back in with more of the color, and then I'm even going to do some splattering, because I like that effect on the mushrooms, because when they stand in the woods, then they are not perfect at all. You always have all kind of little different colors on there, some discoloration in there as well. And now I'm going in with my brown colors. Of course you can make your mushrooms any color that you like, but for this month's theme, teal is the color of my preference. So with the stems of the mushrooms, I'm going with the darkest of the pigments on the bottom, because when I picture them in my head, they are standing in the woods, and then on the ground there is least amount of light. So that's why I'm keeping the bottom most dark, and I'm just working with more water when I want the stems to be a little bit lighter. And when my base layer, the first layer of paint is dry, I can go on top of that with a new layer of paint, and that will intensify the colors that I'm using. So now using my heat tool again, just to set that paint, and when it's dry I can go in with my fine liner, and I'm just giving it those sketchy look, just going over the lines of my stamp, and this way it looks as if I have drawn them myself. I actually have, but of course because this is the stamp, it will just give that a little bit more of a hand-drawn look. And with my white gel pen, I'm going to put in a little bit more light, and I cut them out. I just took a little bit out of that film that I made, because that took a little bit too long. Here you see me going on the page with my mushroom, and because it's also that teal blue, I want to put a darker dye behind it just to make that stamp pop and stand out from the page a little bit more. So that's why I'm using black behind it and just a little bit of jeans fabric. I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to put that stamp on the jeans fabric, and then I can glue everything onto my page. First the leaves and then the flower, and the mushroom go on top of them last. And because they are already stuck on the jeans fabric, I can glue everything together at once. Then I have a little bit of a sticker from Tim Holtz, and I always love like word stickers or little sentences, so I really like those stickers from Tim Holtz with all of the quotes and stuff. Here I have the A-frame house, and of course I'm going to use my teal paint to color that one as well. The front, it has those wooden logs that the house is made of. Those I'm coloring brown because the brown fits the page as well. And then the roof I'm going to paint teal. Really not a standard house, of course, but the same goes for the mushrooms, and when you put everything in that same color, it is really fun to do on your page. And of course it doesn't have to be realistic. You can use everything that you want in your journal and do the things that you like, because it's your journal and it's made for you to have a lot of fun in your creative process. So with my teal, I'm going in with the most pigment at the bottom again, just as I did with my mushrooms, because at the bottom there's most likely the most amount of shadow. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the teal on the front of the cabin, just putting in a little bit more of the details. And for those rectangles, I'm taking a little bit of a grayish color just for some more shadowing in the roof, but don't know if you can see well enough that it is gray, but you have to believe me. And then it's time to paint the wooden door. And for these pages, actually the watercoloring is what took me the longest time, but it's really relaxing to just color in stamps with watercolors, because I could do that for hours and just focus on the stamps and forget everything around me. So with a little bit of a different color of brown, I'm going to do the front of the roof, and I use a different color because everything would look the same in the front of the house if I use completely the same brown color, and this way it just gives a little bit more, it stands out a little bit more. I really like that. Going in with my heat tool again, and then with my fine liner those sketchy lines again. You really have to make sure your paint is dry, because as you already saw, my pen didn't work really great, because probably there was a little bit of a wet spot still from the paint, and that's not good at all for your fine liner. So if you don't want to throw it away after using it one time, make sure your paint is dry before you go and write on top of it. This one is a little bit more easy to cut out, so it's really fast. And here is my A-frame house, cabin, I have to say. And I like to bring back the mushrooms on the left page as well. This time I'm not using a stamp, but I'm using the dies from the new collection, and I really want to bring back the black from the right page over to the left page, because that's how I create a little bit of synergy onto my pages, just bringing back the same items, or maybe things in the same colors from the right page to left page, just to balance out those two pages. Here I'm thinking about using a little bit of a leftover piece of my jeans fabric, and I'm just thinking about the way that I could use it. But eventually I'm not. I'm just taking my tiny attacher again and stapling that black mushroom on my wooden cabin, and when it's all stuck, it's more easy to just glue everything together. And then I can glue everything onto my pages at once. First the background die, just a little piece that is, because that background die, you wouldn't say it if you would see it in the packaging, but you can see the examples on the packaging as well, and then you can see that it's two parts and not one big background die. And here I'm taking a booklet of those quotes, those sticker quotes again, just to see if I can put that one over there. And it's not quite finished yet, because I'm missing something on the left, and I'm just taking another of that smaller mushroom, that die of a mushroom, and I really like the way that came out. Just a little bit more sketching, because it's all in the details, of course. And with those sketchy lines, I finished my page. I hope you liked watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!